Last game of the season, the DFB Pokal Final against FC Augsburg. But did we win the second Bundesliga? Let's find out. My name is FM21, and this is the Red Devils Rising. And we did win the second Bundesliga. We clinched with 1 week left because Fortuna Düsseldorf lost one of their last 2 games. Let me check that out here real quick. They drew at Dresden, and that gave us enough of a gap that when we won here and they won, they couldn't catch up to us. Now, the big battle actually was these 3 teams right here fighting for third place. This came down to the last week. And I think this here, the St. Pauli Hamburg result, is because... Let me check something out here real quick just to make sure I have this right. Because I played La Liga last year for FM, and the rules for tiebreaks were different. So goal difference, goals scored, result between teams. So if we look at this... Here, the goal difference was the same. Goals scored was St. Pauli. They scored 47 they scored 61 as opposed to 47. And if that had been the same, it would have gone to results between teams, and then you have a couple more tiebreakers after that. So let's take a look at the last few games and how we did. We tried losing. We really, really did. We lost against Heidenheim 1-0 thanks to a Teufel null goal in the 64th minute. Rote got set off in the 81st minute, which meant he was unavailable for the game against Hamburg, who we drew with, which was annoying as heck. Mazzini had a solid game. Jamelka, Bailey all had solid games. My defense was solid, which was nice because my offense certainly wasn't. Jan Regensburg pipped us. This was a tough game. We had them, and just in the 62nd minute, we broke down, and we lost. We got ourselves right against SVS of all teams, and this is kind of funny because I played a really rotated side. Wiesenborn, Santini, Shackleton, Matty, Hen, Held, and Bangura are all under 19 players. And then I had a bunch of under-19 players on my bench as well. I wanted to get them playing time. We'd already clinched the league. We clinched here with the Regensburg loss, and I'm not quite sure why. I thought it was because Fortuna Düsseldorf had lost as well. But at one point in time, let me check their schedule out again real quick. They won their last few games. I thought Hamburg was the team that was behind us for the longest time. Hamburg was, and they lost 4 of their last 5 games and drew 1. But they lost 3 of their last 5 games, and they fell. They tumbled. They were in second place for the longest time, and they just absolutely collapsed. St. Pauli was up there as well, and they lost some games they should have won. Probably the Dusseldorf game, the Union Berlin game, the Paderborn game. This was a case where St. Pauli and Hamburg were right behind us. They started losing. Fortuna Düsseldorf started winning. We won just enough that Düsseldorf couldn't catch us. That's what happened. That's why we won the second Bundesliga. We got our budget for next year. It's not the biggest, $3.5 million transfer budget. We got a bit of an increase to our payroll. So we've got $120,000 to play with there, which is nice. Next season's budget is $375 a week. We can mess around with that. We got 17 million euros for winning Bundesliga 2. We're okay financially. The question is staying up next year. And I realize I had the same concerns about staying up when we got promoted to Bundesliga 2 and we finished 3rd. I don't think that's going to happen next year. I think we'll be very lucky to finish out of the relegation zone, to be honest with you. We'll be in a relegation fight. I'm almost positive. So, let me go up here real quick. The only thing I'm kind of miffed about this week, Doucouré is still out. Eric Bailey hurt his foot last week. I could have given him the injections and he could have played, but it would have risked injuring him down the road. And I really don't want to do that. So this was a solid season. We had a big winning streak right here that was only interrupted a couple of times. And then we kind of fell apart at the end, but we did just enough to win. And that sets up our match today against Augsburg in the Pokal. So let me double check my best 11. We're going to set the reserves, and we're going to come back with that match in just a bit. So we've got Mazzini in goal, Reeder, Jamelka, Ray, and Redondo as the defensive back four. Ray's playing defensive center back because Reeder has to play defensive right back. It's either that or I've got Wiesenborn starting. He's an 18-year-old, and he did really good for us last game, but that last game was against Paderborn. This game's against Augsburg, and they're a solid Bundesliga squad. Bresciani and Gennaro in the midfield. Markovic and Ilarugi as the advanced midfielders. Rosser and Goebbels up top as the strikers. They got Hani Mukhtar. They must have just brought him in because he was in America at the beginning of the season and in the January transfer window. I must have missed that. I thought about bringing him in, but there was something about him that just stopped me from doing it. Bresciani knocks the ball away. Bounces back to Becker, who gets it back out to Mukhtar. Says it again. Jamelka knocks it away. Markovic has it. Long pass towards Rosser. No one back there to help defend. Gets by the one defender. Goebbels is there. Puts it far post. And we score in the 3rd minute. Goebbels' 20th goal of the season. He may be the best 500,000 euros I've spent on a player. I would have to go back probably to, good grief, FM17. When I think I picked up Marco Tumanello on a free, and for 2 years he was an absolute goal-scoring machine for me. But keep in mind that was FM17, though. Gortler to Copper. Gumney, Finnbogason, his 2nd goal of the season, and they equalize 8 minutes later. Alfred Finnbogason. He's either Swedish or Icelandic. Some good ball movement by Augsburg. Nice pass by Gumney. Finnbogason was just sitting right in the middle of the hole that the defenders had left there because Ray had come up to cover. Reeder with the throw-in. Markovic loses a handle. Goebbels gets it and somehow manages to dink it around Felix Udokai in for the... Oh, they're calling it an Udokai own goal. Let's see this in the 3D. You know what? We're gonna pause this here real quick because I want to go to... behind the goal here. We might get a better idea of what happened. That's what happened. Goebbels hit it and it bounced off Udokai and went in. Okay, sometimes the ball bounces your way. Mazzini taps it to Jamelka. Long pass. Gortler steps in front of it. I don't know what he was thinking, but it went right to Gennaro, who gives it away to Hoffman. Gennaro gets it back, drops it off to Francisco. Bresciani has it, gives the ball away to Hoffman. Kubek setting up. Gregorich can't get to it. Jamelka heads it to Markovic, who is dispossessed by Iago. He gets the ball to Copper, to Becker, up to Finnbogason, over to Gregorich. Gortler gives the ball away to Reeder. Reeder, long pass towards Rosser, who somehow manages to get it, but he's swarmed. Ball gets knocked back and forth. A lot of Route 1 back and forth going on here. Cowper, Gregorich was offsides. Mukhtar, however, wasn't. He's got to be a January pickup. I thought Gregorich would have been offsides there, but I guess not. Oh, Mazzini should have stopped that. Markovic. Rosser. Oh, he buries it. That was a brilliant set piece. I have no idea what I did. Nobody came up to mark Rosser. This has been a fun, competitive game. Mukhtar sends it in, and they equalize. Gregoritsch. Six goals in the first half. I don't know what it was about Mukhtar that prevented me from really chasing him. It may have been his salary. Let's see what we're... can we pull him up here real quick? Yeah, it was his salary because he's getting 22.5 here. Nashville. Yeah, he came in the January transfer window. On a free? Maybe he didn't. Maybe he came late. Tell the boys, I have faith in them. For some reason, the guys on the bench are nervous, and the guys on the field aren't. Reader sends it to Francisco. Oh, took a shot, but it was right at the keeper. Markovic sends it in again. Ray is there, but Gregoritsch knocks it away. Can Roser run it down? No, Yago gets there before he does. Roser dispossesses him, though. Reader, and the highlight ends. Redondo. Ilrui gives the ball. It gets knocked back and forth. Finnbogason ends up with it, but he's forced to kick it away. Reader sends it up to Roser, who heads it to Gubbles in the crowd. Gubbles gets it back out to Reader. Bresciani feeds Markovic. He's got help, but he tries taking the shot, and he pushes it just wide left. That was a bad angle. Well, maybe not a bad angle, but there would have been better angles. I'm going to flip Gennaro and Bresciani. Gennaro's a better ball-playing box-to-box midfielder, and Bresciani's a better deep-line playmaker, but this is how they've been playing most of the season. They've been really successful. Jamelka. Santini is my only replacement. I really don't want to replace him with that. You know what, we're gonna live by. We're gonna dance with those that brought us. Markovic sends it in. Jamelka's there, and he heads it over the crossbar. Do you believe we're gonna go to extra time? Last chance. Ramos just throws it away. However, Udakai ends up with the ball. Jensen out to Palmer Brown. You have got to be kidding me. Jensen gets it to Palmer Brown. No one near him. Mazzini complete... Oh. And we lose the Pokal in extra time. Unflipping real. A 92nd minute goal. Jeez. FM'd again. Save the game here real quick. We got $2.8 million for playing in the final. Collective bonuses were paid out $195,000. Biggest overachievers were us. Bayern Munich, biggest underachievers. Best match, Wolfsburg and Freiburg. That was annoying as hell. Ah, jeez. Unflippin' believable. Kovac was fired by Monaco. Well, it's the end of season review. Let's take a look at this. Our board expectation was mid-table. Our final position was first. My expectation was mid-table. Average home attendance was 66%. Lucas Roser led with 17 goals. Our biggest win was against Sproke Hobble in the Pokal match to remember, the 4-1 against Sandhausen, the match to forget. I don't know that we have that. The goal of the season, Bangura in the 75th minute. This was the last match of the regular season. Let's take a look at this. Gotta pause it here. Bangura? Oh, a heck of a long shot. Good grief, that was 30 yards out. Okay, definitely goal of the year worthy. And some good success on the transfer market. William Goebbels coming in for $490,000. 28 appearances, 20 goals. Finance-wise, sponsorship stayed the same. Broadcast revenue went up. We had a lot more games on TV this time around. Corporate and hospitality went up. Competition prize money went up because we got so much further. Match day and commercial retail went down a little bit. That's interesting. I can't get back to where I was. So, best 11. Lazar Markovic was the pick of the 4 players. Goebbels, Brescianini, and Jamelka were the other players selected. Season review was brilliant. We were busy and impenetrable on defense, aggressive and clinical on offense. I am okay with that. Club vision and expectations. In progress. Fight bravely against relegation. Accept the current vision. I'm okay with that. Squad dynamics. We did have more than a few guys step up to be leaders this year. However, that remains to be seen. Discuss plans for next season. I told them we could avoid the drop, even if it meant going to the playoffs, and they're all disappointed. Season injury report. Ducouré was injured quite a bit. The torn hamstring was absolute killer for me, especially the last of the season. Tuazi, broken ribs for 2 months. Marlon Ritter dislocated his shoulder, out for 2 months. Goebbels 6 weeks with sprained knee ligaments. But we had other players step up. Take care of this real quick. I did promise him a new contract. And the season is over. Gennaro's wanted. I've got coaches looking at some of my younger players. Report back July 10th. Training camp destination. I'm going to move over here real quick. Austria. We're going to go to Tyrol. It's a beautiful country there. We were winning until they got that goal. And flipping reel. Oh, well. That's the way the ball bounces. So, taking a look at the team. If we sort by goals, Lucas Rosser led us with 21. William Goebbels had 20. Markovic had 16. Koenig was a youth player. Francisco had 9. Brescianini had 6. Tuazi had 5. Thaki is a youth player. Bangura had 4. Ritter had 3. Yildirim was a youth player. Gergic had 2. We had a lot of players step up. Assists. Gennaro had 13. Rosser had 11. Francisco had 9. Markovic had 7. Goebbels had 7. Ducouré had 7. Shad had 6. Gergic had 4. Brescianini had 4. A lot of players really stepped up. We really did kind of spread the wealth this year. Ratings-wise, Patrick Juice had a 7.25, but he only had 4 games with us. He was a solid backup when we needed him to be, though. Jamelka probably had the best all-around season. 38 games, 2 goals, 2 appearances, 2 players of the match, a 7.22 rating. Almost all of the starters were 6.8 or better, which is very, very cool. The problem we're going to run into is this. If I sort by ability, Gennaro, I got to watch out how I lean. Let me do this here real quick. Gennaro's wanted by a couple of teams, and they could meet his price. Brescianini is coming back. I really think all of these players, from Francisco on up, can play in the Bundesliga. The question is, how well can they play in the Bundesliga? Rosser's 29. And I'll give him the opportunity to lose his job at the beginning of next season. But in case he does stumble, I got Tuazi ready to step up. Goebbels is going to be the first striker. I mean, if we run the same formation we do, and we probably are, we need to strengthen the midfield. I need a defensive right back. The other thing I'm going to be looking at doing is rejiggering our affiliates and getting some new ones in. I want to have the ability to send a lot of my youth players down to the affiliates so they get first-team playing time. Our under-19s, I have to point this out here real quick. Our under-19s had a really, really good season this year. They ended up getting all the way to the youth championship semifinal where they lost to Borussia Dortmund. And it took Borussia Dortmund scoring 5 goals, or 3, 4, 5, like 6 goals for them to win. Yeah, it took Borussia Dortmund scoring 6 goals for them to advance. They finished second. No, wait a minute. Where did they finish? They finished second to Bayern on 81 points. I have good youngsters. I have good quality youngsters. I think if we were just to look at just my youngsters, from Didier on up, they can all be Bundesliga players. I firmly believe that. Wiesenborn's leaving, so there is that. But yeah, with playing time, with first team playing time, they will all improve drastically. And that's one of the things I'm going to be looking at next season, is getting players like Lehmans and Bonch and Shackleton and that out on loan. If I can't get them starting time in the Bundesliga, I'm going to have to get them out on loan. You know, Hen is already 2.5-star current ability. He's got 5-star potential ability, but he's not going to get any playing time here with us, and I would much rather have him play against stronger opponents. So in my affiliates, we're going to lose this because we're getting promoted. Okay, so they're not going to let us loan to Offenbach. Are they going to let us loan to Kaiserslautern? Okay, they'll let us loan to Kaiserslautern. So some of my not so good youth players who I want to get playing time to develop them so I can sell them on for money in the long run, I can do. I can't cancel the link. I don't know why. So they'll do it for Primstall and Kaiserslautern. They won't do it for either Oberstein or Offenbach. I think we should try and look for an affiliate club as well. We'll see what happens. They rejected the affiliate club. They are going to upgrade the youth facilities, though. The other thing to look at with the players we have, I do have 4 players leaving. I want to be upset by losing Wiesenborn, but I'm not, because his determination and concentration have not improved no matter how much I worked on them. We've only got 6, 7, 8,000 coming off the wage budget, and probably more too, because players like Kolala and that I'm going to try and move. If they're, Andre Ivjek, I'll probably keep, just because I need to keep players on the under 19s. But Mefendu I'll put on the under 19s or the 2 squad. So it's going to be a long, arduous offseason, longer and more arduous than this last offseason, especially because I don't have the second team, the senior team, turned on. So for the moment, hitting my mic. Let me move that back up here. Those are the players whose contracts are expiring. Reader, I'm going to let walk because I'm positive I can replace him. Rosser, I think it's going to depend on what his salary demands are. He's on 15 right now. If he wants, say, less than 20, no, he wants 38. I'm not paying him 38. He's not worth 38. So I'm going to have to find a replacement for Rosser, because that'll leave me Gubbles and Tabuizi with Mefendu and a couple others back there. Maybe get a lone player in. We got Bresciani coming back. Okay, yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. This, however, was a solid season for us. I never thought we'd win. I was aiming for mid-table. If we got into a promotion fight, I would have been all for that. Clinching Bundesliga 2 with a week to go was icing on the cake. Losing to Augsburg like that in the Pokal was a gut punch. We've got our work cut out for us next season, though. Who's coming down? Hanover 96, who tried interviewing me like 3 times to take over their team. SV Werder's coming back down. So yeah, the other thing I like to do is you go to the other leagues, like your English Premier League. You know, of which Chelsea... Ooh, that is a interesting result. They won a goal differential. So we have Palace coming down. I thought I had a guy who was England. Yep, I do. João Ferreira. And you scout the teams that are coming down. And you may not be able to, but you could possibly poach a player or 2 off of them for a good price. You know, they want first division football in a country somewhere. You know, they don't want to play in the championship. They want to play in the Premier League, or they want to play in the Bundesliga or Serie A or something like that. So this is one way to do it. And I'm kind of rambling, and I apologize for that, because I could be doing all of this stuff offline, and that's what I need to be doing. So like I was saying before I got distracted, losing to Augsburg like that was a kick in the pants. So, you know, but I'm proud of the guys this season. They did really, really well. We got lucky with a couple moves. Goebbels turned in the performance I thought he would. Getting him for as cheap as we did is probably going to be a coup, because he's definitely a Bundesliga level striker. Maybe not like a world class or elite, but you know, the Hall of very, very good. So that said, I'd be interested in your feedback on our season, what you think we can do in the offseason to improve the squad and stay out of a relegation fight. It's going to be tough, and maybe I'm being a bit pessimistic about it, given what's happened the past 2 years, but, you know, I don't want to raise the bar so high that we're walking under it, you know? So that said, if you did like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I'll answer those as fast as I can. My name's FM Jellico. I thank you for watching.